Now in this demo, we're going to improve upon our existing meetings app that we've created for Microsoft Teams by implementing the post-meeting experience. Now, the tab in the meeting is going to display the presentations that have been delivered during the meeting and include the resources for each of the presentations that were submitted by the presenter in the meeting experience. Meeting apps for Microsoft Teams can share an experience with all the attendees in the meeting, just like you can share the videos or screen share or sharing PowerPoint slides. So this presentation area is referred to as the meeting stage, and we can use this area to provide an experience during the meeting for all of the meeting attendees. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our new meeting stage experience. So I'm going to do that by coming over here to my project, and let's, right after our side panel experience, I'm going to add in another method here called our meeting stage user experience. So what does this code do? This code takes all of the stand-up topics that you see listed here that were submitted, and it excludes all topics that were not approved using the filter function. So I'm only going to see things included where approved is equal to true. It then uses the reduce function to create a new array of topics that are all grouped by the presenter. So the next thing I need to do is implement the user experience, and I'll do that by updating this to-do statement at the bottom. And all this is going to do is this is going to have a grid with 3 columns in it, and it's simply going to display cards for each one of our different items here. So it creates these different columns for all the attendees, and it lists all the topics that they were approved to present, and then each topic's presented status is also going to be indicated. So the last step that we want to do here is to use the new function when the app is running and in the side panel of the meeting. And this is also going to be determined by the frame context. And I want this to, when this is happening in the side panel gives us an option to present our meeting experience. And so what we do is we want to show something when the context of our meeting is not just in the side panel. I want to check for when the context is in the meeting stage panel as well, and that's going to display our meeting experience. Now, before we test this, we also can have a post-meeting experience, and this is going to be used to display a summary of the meeting. So for our app, the meeting stage experience is what we want to display after the meeting. However, we want to change the meeting experience so it will conditionally only show our post-meeting experience after the meeting starts. Otherwise, we want to show the pre-meeting experience. So what I'm going to do is in this place right here where we have our content frame context, I want to change how this works. And the way we're going to change this is I'm going to add this if statement to conditionally return the main content element. What this is going to do, if the current start date is checking to make sure that this start date time has been defined, and if it has, it takes the current start date time and checks to see if that time is less than the current time. And if it is, we want our pre-experience to be rendered. Otherwise, we want our post-experience, which is the same experience we're using for the stage, to be rendered in the tab. Okay, let's see this in action. So again, what we should see if we go back to our meeting, all right, so let's come over here to our test meeting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to join the meeting. So let's look at the stage, what the stage looks like first, or the stage panel. So here I'm going to go into our stand-up agenda, and we can see we have a list of all of our items that have been presented, one by Megan and one by Alex. I'm going to use this little icon here to present to the stage. So I'm going to go ahead and present that. And what we now see is we see Megan had one item. We can see that Megan, behind the muting here, let's just turn that off for a sec. So what we can see here is that Megan has one item that was presented, and then we have the other item that was not presented. So it doesn't have a presented icon underneath it. But Alex has the feature Charlie Review. He did have that one item that was presented that is showing up here. So that's cool. We can see our stage experience. But not only that, if I come over to our So now if I go to my stand-up agenda, we can see here that we're just seeing the post-meeting experience, which mirrors the stage experience that we wanted to display within our app. And so now what you've seen is how to create a Microsoft Teams meetings app, and you've seen how to implement the pre and post meeting experience in the content area of the tab, how to, during a meeting in the in-meeting experience, how to implement a tab in the side panel that conditionally shows information based on who the currently signed in user is. And then as well, you were also able to see how to present content using the meeting stage and the in-meeting experience.